Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to use Stampin' Up! Envelope punch. Now we have different brands in school. We actually have the other one as well too, but they're different color, but the function is exactly the same. So what you want to do, if you look at the board, you can see how there's a lot of number here. So it depends on the size of the envelope you want to make. You want to find that, and then we'll tell you the size of the paper you need and where your first score line should be. Okay, and I'm going to show you how it's done. So today we're going to make 4.5 by 6 envelope for our card, and we need 8.5 by 8.5 paper, which I already pre-cut it right here, and then we're going to score it at 3 3/4, which I put the orange dots with the arrow lining up to the scoring line. So you want to take this paper against the wall. Make sure you push all the way in and then slide this paper all the way to where the orange dot is. Take your bone folder from the side, you can slide it out. From here, oh sorry, we're going to punch it first. So on the very top, you're going to push it down. Use this side of your hand, the soft side of your hand, to push it down. It's so much easier. If you try to use your finger, it will be very hard. It's very tight punch holder. You want to take your bone folder, put it on against the wall. Here is a little indentation. You can kind of feel it. But I know a lot of students really have a hard time. Then you can start from the bottom, because there's also an indentation. You can starting from here and push it back. Okay, so you can see the indentation lining up here. Okay, now your goal is to have an indentation line, not to break the paper, so don't push too hard. Right, so once you're done, you pull it out, you have a hole already punched on the top. So now what I want you to do, you're going to turn it twice. 1, 2. Now your hole should be on the bottom. Okay, let me move this over a little bit so it's easier to see. Your hole should be on the bottom. Again, I want to make sure my paper is on the top. Push all the way to the top, slide all the way to where the orange dot is. Right, remember the corner needs to line up to the orange dot. Punch, and then scoring your paper. Remember not to break your paper, so don't push too hard. Just lightly do a few times. As long as you can see the indentation, that's good enough. Pull it out. You have now you have two punch holes, one on top, one on the bottom. Now here's the tricky part. You're going to turn only one time. See, the two holes now are on the left and on the right, just like this. Okay, now from here you're going to push all the way up against the wall, sliding it, but this time we're not going to look at the orange dots. Ignore the orange dot. Now we're going to use this little points right here that needs to line up to the indentation line that you just did before. So let me show you what it looked like. So under the lights, can you see the indentation line lining up with this point? So there's a little angle. This point should be lining up with this line. Okay, so ignore this. For the next two punch, you want to ignore that. Push it down, and then also on the right, you can also see the indentation line also lining up with a hole. Right, so this hole should also line up to the indentation, and then that's where you know that you did it correctly. Okay, so don't look at the orange for the third and the fourth. Okay, so now I have 3 holes. Now we are missing one more hole on this side. So from here, turn it to the top. So now your hole is left, right, and bottom. Push all the way to the top. Remember, we're going to ignore that. And I'm going to line it up to the indentation, also making sure this side also lining up too. Punch and score. So when you finish, it should look like this. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, your trash, throw them away. If you have a little container, a black container, put them inside. Alright, so we're going to turn it this way. I want the long side on the bottom, two short side on the side. So you want it to start scoring down all of them. It should be very easy to do because you already have all those indentation lines already finished. So push it down. When you reopen, it should be all folded like this. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can just tape it down. It will look like this. Some people don't mind that little point. I personally don't like it, so I'm going to cut it off. You want to use a long scissor. A short scissor is fine too, but I personally like the long one because it's easier to measure. I'm going to slide my scissor inside, right? So it's only, I know that I'm only cutting the very outside flap. And then I need you to push it down a little bit so I can see how much I want to cut. Okay. Oops, I needed to see what I'm doing. Okay, and then you're gonna cut it. So once you finish, it should look like this. Okay, should be straight on the top. And throw your trash away. Now I'm ready to put double-sided tape on the bottom. So you want to take the skinny double-sided tape. It's only 1/4 inch. Now this one is skinny, but it's actually quite strong. So you want to measure how much you want it. Okay, so you can approximately like eyeball it a little bit as long as the length is about the same, right? But I usually cut a little bit shorter. And then you can tape it down. Make sure you push it down, especially in the corner. Okay. So I'm cut down another piece, similar to my last one, and push it down. Now I am ready to take this off. Take the release paper off. And then you can see the shiny reflection, that's the double-sided tape. And then just push it down. Then your envelope is ready. Okay. Now, since later on when I'm ready to give it away, I needed to seal my envelope, otherwise it'll look like that. So I'm going to put 2 more pieces of double-sided tape on the very top. So again, you can eyeball it or just put it next to it to kind of approximately measure it. So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces at the top. When you put the double-sided tape down, get it closer to the edge of the paper. Don't get it too much in the middle, because when you close the envelope, you want to make sure it doesn't get, like the double-sided tape doesn't damage your card. Okay, now this is ready. Do not take the release paper off until you finish writing your card and you are ready to give it to the recipient. Then you can put your cards inside, take your release paper, and then seal it. But as of right now, we're ready to use this envelope now. So very easy to do, but please make sure you put your trash away in the trash can or in your little container. Okay,